Hello, GrunEules, Dee Dee here. So, I trimmed my first deck today, and I could not be more pleased. It's like jailbreaking a phone or freeing something. It was wonderful. I used a guillotine paper cutter, or really big one that a photographer friend of mine had, and it was really easy with guides and rulers and all of that stuff to just flame through the deck. I cut all four sides. This is a top piece. And it turned out awesome. These are like pickup sticks. I'm not gonna, I just picked them up. So this is local to my area. It's created by a local artist and his friends. Rochester, New York, Rochestarot. There is an area in Rochester called the South Wedge, and it is a blessing to have that neighborhood in my local metropolis, if you will. It is eclectic and boho and alt and all of the good diversity things that you need culturally and spiritually in a city. And this deck was born out of that. The creator's name is J. Lincoln. If this interests you, you can check him out on jlincoln.com, and the deck is 45 doubloons, and it shipped within a week. Lovely. I tickled pink. Now take a look at the back of this box. It is wonderful. It gives you all the symbolism and associations of the deck. So, swords are air, wands are fire, cups water, discs are earth. Alright, so let's get into this. So the deck has been cut. So obviously it still fits in the box. It was a large deck. Let me get a card to give you a comparison as my dog barks her little head off. Okay, so this is a Steampunk Tarot card. And I'm going to open it from the bottom. So I love when a creative project comes together so well. The inside of this box is also printed and decorated. Can I say details? This almost works like a little white book if you have it out. But it does come with a very nice LWB. And it's got the elemental associations on the court cards. It's got a couple of sentences and keywords on each of the minors. And if you go to the majors, you go. I did find 3 typos, not a big deal. The strength, hanged man, and death cards, instead of being 11, 12, and 13, they were 6, 7, and 8. So I just changed the V's, the Roman numeral 5 to the Roman numeral 10. And that is awesome. It also has 2 spreads. It has, actually 3. It has a 3 card. It has a spread called Wendy's spread. Wendy's in the deck, and a traditional Celtic cross. So, there you go. jlincoln.com. If you like this kind of art. Alright, so these were completely encased in those white borders. Let me give you a sense. And I freed them. They have been broken from jail. Now, I thought about rounding the corners, but the cardstock on these is so nice. He's got really great cardstock that he chose. Plus, in the bottom corners, there's a lot of elemental associations, card numbers, indicators, suit indicators, and the footers, if you will, the cards have keywords and zodiac and planetary and elemental and suit and card number information. So if I was to round the tops, which is doable, the bottoms would start cutting off information. And so I'm leaving these squared up. They squared up great. And because it's nice and rigid cardstock, the guillotine cutter went through them like butter. And I didn't lose anything from the back, because the back also had white borders around it, so the borders matched front and back. There's 1 or 2 cards that were slightly skinnier or slightly taller or had a creative effect around the edges around the border, and I'll point those out. But basically I cut them this side down and it worked perfectly. Look at these backs. Isn't that stunning? Way to go, J. Lincoln. And this is how, once trimmed, they compare to the Steampunk Tarot. They're a finger width taller and a pinky width wider, to give you a compare. Alright, now let's get it. These are not sorted. I've been shuffling them and playing with them all day today. They have kind of a satin sheen. They're not high gloss, but they're not matte, totally 100% matte, like dry sec. Okay, so this is an 8 of Swords, and you've got Roman numerals and zodiac and planetary signs. I've got a distinctive chessboard feel with the bishops, and then a really great caricature drawing. And if you look, this one looks like a piano keys, interference, and in the shadow you can see swords. And you've got the 8 of Swords here, and you've got Pisces and Jupiter. I'm a little weak on my planets. That's part of why I like this deck, because I'm working on those associations. 9 of Swords, and you have the obvious Mars. And so we have Mars and Gemini, Nine of Swords, Cruelty, and he's actually taken his finger. Straight-faced. Really interesting. Then we've got Ten of Swords. These are sort of in order. I see. It's slightly out of order. Maybe it is. Maybe I did reorder it. So this is the Ten of Swords. Ruin is the keyword. Sun and Gemini. And instead of being stabbed with swords and left, he's on a pool table, which is mounted on top of a Gemini sign. And he's got cue sticks sticking out of him and cash falling into the table. Really modern. Alright. I found the rest of those swords. Yay! Okay. Before we get to the courts, let's look at the Ace of Swords. So we've got the associations, we've got Aries coming off of his pool cue, we've got the triangle set for the table with the bar across it for air, and the obvious pool balls, Ace of Swords, Two of Swords, give you a better sense of what we're talking about here. That is so totally South Wedge. So, Two of Swords, Peace, Three of Swords. Look at this face. Look at this caricature of this. Lightning, signs, chess pieces being washed away with a storm. There's the Four of Swords. We've got manipulation here. We've got a, looks like a Rottweiler mutt kind of dog. Libra, Scales of Libra. Truce. These are wonderful cards. The caricatures are amazing. Six of Swords. Six Arms. And Seven of Swords. Sorry, I just smacked the camera. Okay. And we saw the 8, 9, and 10. Now we're going to do the court. Princess. So something else that I did is I colored the elemental signs, except for air. I colored earth. So Princess is the earthiness of air. Earthiness of air. The princes, instead of knights, this is the air of air, the airiness of air. And you've got a lot of, you've got images in the clouds. Lots of imagery. The Queen of Swords is the water of air. And she's doing henna. Look at this Look at her face. Look at those eyes. Lovely! And the knight instead of the king. So, princess, prince, queen, and knight. And he is the fiery aspects of air. And you've got that here. And you've got the scales. And a couple of icons going on. And we go to the wands and straight into fire. So we've got the zodiac and elements. Ace of Wands. Here's the wands indicator. Ace of Wands, fire, and fire. Yin and Yang, Two of Wands, duality, Mars, and Aries. Keyword dominion. For virtuous, virtue, we have the Three of Wands, Sun and Aries, Aries stool, lotus flowers. There's the sun sign. There's a horned god representation. This card had an interesting creative border which mostly got trimmed off. There's Venus, a flash. So this is the Four of Wands, Venus and Aries, completion. Let's see if I can. It looked like an old distressed photograph, bent and worn around the edges. Hence, the theme of the card associated with the Bellows 4x5 camera. Then we've got a very modern Five of Wands, strife, Saturn and Leo, Six of Wands, victory. My guess is they had a good shopping trip. Valor. This is another Leo card. Great representation. Swift, Eight of Wands. This is Centaur. Venus and Sag. No. Mercury and Sag, sorry. Knight of Wands, keyword strength, Moon and Sagittarius. Ten of Wands, oppression. Very modern. But look at the caricature on the face. There's the Courts of Wands, princess. Prince, the Queen of Wands. I love this card. We retain the checkerboard. I love everything about that. And the King, or Knight of Wands, sorry. There are no kings. This is the fiery aspect of fire. He is wised, knowledgeable, fiery, dual fire. Awesomeness. Ace of Cups. Two of Cups. 3. I like this card a lot. Look at the faces. They're so well done. 4 of Cups. Luxury. I think the coloration on the pooch could have been a little different. It made everything too green for me. Oh, this is a cool card. Imagine a photo taken with the lens being covered in water or vodka. This is the 5 of Cups, the spilt cups. Look at that. Isn't that so cool? 6 of Cups. Here's the 7 of Cups. Debauched. I've got a mannequin as a drinking buddy. And a grody puddle with the scorpion sign in it. Indolence. Not a word I associate with this card, but I could totally see it now that it's visualized for me. And then we go straight to happiness. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. Satiated. Satiety. Satiety. That's not a word I say either. Satisfaction. Yes. Satiety. No. Somebody pulled out their thesaurus on this. Princess. Cups. The watery air. The watery earth, sorry. Earthy water? Earthy water. Earthy water. We've got Scorpio, the Cancer, and the Fish, Pisces. She is on a green throne surrounded by all of these blue crystals. Prince of Cups. Queen of Cups. Totally. Yep. Totally. I forgot to say that that's in there, but totally. Knight of Cups. Actually just saw this in shadow. Fire and water. And we go to the discs. Earth. I'm going to give you a close-up of this. This is a beautiful image. I love this illustration. Change. Boob alert. Work. And we have Mars on the other planetary sign. Power! This guy's evil. They're just okay being controlled. Worry. 5. 5 of discs. You've got Taurus, literally, with a Mercury tat. His hand on his shoulder. 6 of discs. Seven of discs, representing the game of life. And we have the 8 of discs. They're saying, I've had enough, thank you. 9 of discs. Material gain. Money, 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 money! It's raining money. We've got Mercury over here. We've got the 10. We've got Virgo. Money! Look at this. Faces. Princess. This is the earthiness of Earth. She's standing on a sheaf of wheat amongst greenery. Redolent with greenery. Prince of Discs. This is very playful. And then in the shadows, you get the airiness of Earth. That's really creative use of the shadows there. Queen of Discs, we get the elements right front and center. The Zodiac. And she is watering her Earth. Water of Earth. Straight up Knight of Discs. Then we go to the majors. Okay. I'm gonna get a little closer. Okay, we've got the Fool. We've got the air symbol, 0 in the clouds. And he's just doesn't have a care at this point. The Magician. This one's weird. This one's weird. Weird. But he does have the directional pointers. So we have coins, a pen, a lighter. So fire, air, and liquid, water, and money. And then down here we have some cards. We've got cups, swords, pence, and I'm assuming that's supposed to be a wand. And we have a Mercury turtle. The High Priestess. Interesting, huh? Empress. She's in a snake throne. Yeah. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. And she's got a pooch. the Emperor. I love his expression. Look at his expression. I love that expression. I love it. I appreciate you. The Hierophant. The Lovers with Cupid. We've got a UFO. Pisces. The Chariot. He is trying to figure out what it says. It does say something, but I'm trying to read it backwards. Give me a second. So, Mr. Cancer, stars like God's first print. Stars like God's fingerprint. Stars like God's fingerprints. Prints. And this is the Chariot. Now we've got Justica, Justice. We've got a scale, an old-fashioned apothecary or scale, just carrying a blade. We've got other symbology in the background here. If you take a look. We've got some geometry going on, perpendicular and parallel lines, perpendicular lines, right angles, arcs. The Hermit, the Spider who did the whatchamacallit, who's a what's it? Can't quite make out what his tattoo is. Scary spider. Fortune. She's holding the blade, and it's being used to hold up these cards. She's sitting on some kind of throne. Wheel of Fortune. Meaning's leaving me a little bit. I don't get that quite. Strength. I got a ring of fire with symbols. And the lion is a young female in a costume, and another person looks like a magician. We've got a cat who doesn't give a darn. The Hanged One, the Hanged Man. We've got an Ankh upside down. We've got the sign for water behind his head in yellow. And we've got this graffiti that looks like waves or water. And over here is like something tribal. But if we go like this, it's completely different. So that's the Hangman. Death, number 13. This is the Scorpio card. Scorpio. Scorpio. They have a bird eating a worm. Death to the worm. We've got a lot of graffiti going on in the back. There's another bird with another worm. There's a scorpion piece of graffiti wrapped around death. And instead of the sigh, he's got... Oh, it is a sigh. I thought it was a cane. I missed it completely. He does have that. I missed it. I see more every time I look at these. Temperance. El Diable, the devil. He's got a pan flute and the cloven hooves. So it's the 15th card, and you've got X, V in his horns. And you've got the symbol right here, like that. Interesting. The tower. It's very much like the movie posters for that tower movie. So we've got 16 as part of the lightning. I know what the words were. That is a local thing. Kodak, which basically went bankrupt. But they were the company who invented the digital camera. And they did nothing with it. And they don't exist. They don't sell cameras. They don't make cameras. They don't do much of anything. Basically, a company gone. So this is very telling. We've got the K and the O and the D all falling off the building. The star, Estrella, 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on land. Butterflies all around, and on her skirt is the two vessels pouring the water. But look at her. Look at her. I'm so glad she's in this deck. Then we have the moon. Mr. Moon, the man in the moon. I've got the doggies and the wolfie, but these are both dogs. Different phases of the moon. The fish. The sun card. This card has been stalking me for about 3 weeks. And it has all of the signs in the sky around the sunflower sun. Judgment. We've got the angel with his trumpet horn. We have someone being judged. We have a crossword theme on the card. There's another crossword. What else have we got in this card? Nothing other obvious to me, but there's certainly more symbolism. And the world. This is the final card of the Rochestarot. We have the 4 corners of the world are the 4 elemental signs. We have what's left of the skyline of Rochester. Not as recognizable as Seattle or even Portland or LA or New York or Paris, but there it is, the Rochester skyline, all on the back of this tortoise. And these are probably lilacs because there's a lilac festival, and there's the 21 carved out of the lilacs. And here's the planetary sign correspondence. And there's part of the scale hidden. And I do believe that's some little sprite or something. Looks like a sprite holding the bridge on the giant tortoise's back. So that is the whole world. Got the whole world. That is the end of our walkthrough of the trimmed drastically Rochestarot. Be happy, be healthy, learn something new every day. I'm going to leave you with a shuffle, because I could not shuffle these before. I trimmed them. Still need some breaking in. I'm going to do corner shuffle. Reverse that to get the bow out. So, I'm going to leave you right now. This is Dee Dee signing out. Check out this indie deck. If you like caricatures, I think you might like this deck, and I think he did a really good job with it. So the sun card has been stalking me. She is a good... The sun card is a companion. So there you go. I'm going to leave you with that card. Ciao for now. Much love and respect.